strata of the rich people alone. That you send it to your friends who are rich and they send to the friends who are rich. It should, cross the barriers of class and should penetrate downwards and upwards. That should be the movement of gifts in Islam. So this was this instruction of the Holy Quran was very meticulously carried and followed by the Rabba society always. Is that what you wanted to know, or no? I think there is some part of the question written on your face which could not be effaced.
The last part. If the poor and needy are not found at the...
Oh yes, that's right, I'm sorry, yes. If they are not found, then this, I don't propose that artificial way of doing it. Sadaqah is not, in this case, is not essential. It is only promoted when it is required, when it serves a purpose. So in that case, in such a society where the needy are not found in enough number to receive, they are not a sadaqah anyway, receive gifts of the meat of animal sacrifice. In such societies also it so happens that the modern facilities are available of preservation of meat. Why don't they do that? They can preserve the remaining meat, or they should be more generous to their friends and relatives and send them as gifts. Because in the same places where the needy are not found, generally it is a tendency that sacrifices are difficult to be made there. So there is also a resultant tendency of sending the money of sacrifice to Qadian or to Rabwa or to some other place, so that one doesn't go through the bother of sacrificing the animal. Anyway, personal participation is difficult here or in some other societies. So the meat is still in scarcity. Those who actually sacrifice animals in such places like England, they can effectively dispose of that meat without facing this problem of whom to give. There's so many friends, acquaintances, Ahmadis know each other in much larger numbers than is the case in the other societies because of so many factors. So I don't think your question is based on reality. It is just an hypothetical question which doesn't apply to us. Yes, please.
This question does not relate to Eid al-Adha, but the sacrifices offered at the time of Hajj. I can recall that when something like performed Hajj,
yes,
we witnessed animals by the thousands or by hundreds of thousands being thrown away and not being used. Later on, I was investigating the possibility of setting up a meat farm, and I also inquired whether it would be feasible to do this in Saudi Arabia at the time of Hajj, and I came to the conclusion, and other people who have investigated this before also came to the conclusion that it would not be feasible because that plant would only operate for about 2 or 4 days.
Quite right, yes.
And I'm wondering whether some way can be found to stop this waste of very expensive...
there are ways of preserving that meat known to the Arabs for thousands of years.
Used to sun-dry.
Whatever they did.
They don't now.
I know, because everybody is rich. But if the government is sensitive to this issue and they want really see to it that the waste, the huge waste is avoided, then they could set up an organization to collect the meat and have it preserved by modern means, not only by those old means, but by modern means as well. And it's not difficult for the governments to take certain measures or get expertise advice from scientifically advanced countries?
I learned that a company called Atlas, one of the biggest companies in Denmark,
Yes.
offered to set up such a plant, and they said that they would freeze or chill the meat, but the Saudi government
Refused.
was advised by their own mullahs that this would go against the instruction of Islam.
That's their stupid action. I mean, what can we do if the advice which I was learning is exactly what you are mentioning was actually not taken, but a possibility arose for them to have the meat preserved and go to places like poor African countries or Indian subcontinent or to Bangladesh, etc., where such meat would be most welcome. If not to the non-Muslims, only at least to the Muslim brothers, this could be rediverted first to European, it should be channeled to these companies, and from them contact could be made, and if they wanted to get the expenses of preservation, because the meat was of no cost to them, at least very cheap prices could be agreed upon, and such meat could be then diverted to Muslim countries.
In the proposals put up by Atlas Company in Denmark were somewhat similar. They had survived plants all over the world, and they said it would not be economical to set one up in Saudi Arabia, but when
meat could be chilled and shifted.
Could be flown
yes,
to these plants
exactly,
all over the world,
yes.
Then chilled or frozen, and then sent to wherever they wanted. And they said
no, the process would be first to send only a chilling plant in Saudi Arabia, and once the plant has chilled the meat, then the entire meat would be flown to, the plants would ultimately process it and have it tinned properly. So chilling will have to be done there, otherwise the meat would be destroyed in the passage. But anyway, I mean, this is a minor difference, detail. Something of that nature could be adopted, and it would have served a very good purpose. Even now, millions and millions of rupees worth of animals are destroyed, and they're not sacrificed, they're destroyed, which is not the purpose of sacrifice at all. Yes, please, Hashim Saab. Have you another interesting experience to recount or something else this time?
Please pray that I do have small experience more and more.
So apparently there is something else you wanted to say. Not a similar experience of preaching like you told us last time.
It's not similar, but it somehow relates to the belief.
Good.
One of my Christian friends is very closely involved in the discussions, and he has asked me a question for which I couldn't as yet satisfactorily answer him. He said that today the world is facing a problem of a disease called AIDS. What is the strategic issues which your community is taking, either in educating people towards it, or telling them something or the other which should at least change their mind or hearts? Although the governments are doing, but they are doing materially. What is that spiritual strategy which your community will be adopting?
What was the answer?
So the basic fundamental thing which I tried to answer him was that it is of course to reverse, but it's the action, it's the status of the community which we can present in front of them. And I took the example as it happened in the time of the Promised Messiah, when the plague came in, and the example of the community was put up.
You see, I think you are off the track. The answer is as simple as this, that everybody knows why it's happening. We could have told them if they did not know. This is not a secret. Every Tom, Dick and Harry knows what is happening to him and to the society, and if we start telling them this is the reason, that would be just a wasteful effort. And if the governments cannot